Serial killer Luis Grafitto. You may have heard about this monster who may be a threat to society when he leaves prison in 2021. That is, only 4 years from now he will be free. Yes, he is a monster. And his name is Luis Alfredo Grafitto. You may be wondering now, who is this Luis? Luis Alfredo Grafitto Cubillos, known as the Monster, is considered the worst serial killer in the world, as he confessed to killing and raping 138 children, which is a very large number, although it is believed that the victims of his crimes were more than 300 children. I say he is a serial killer and child rapist born in the Quindío region of Colombia on January 25, 1957. His father was addicted to alcohol and treated him harshly and violently from a young age, subjecting him to all kinds of torture. At school, Louis was a shy and introverted child who had a phobia and fear of going to the blackboard. He was always insulted and ridiculed by his friends. Naturally, he could not complete his studies because of these problems. He barely completed his education until the 5th grade of primary school, which forced him to go out into the streets to search for. He made a living at a young age. Luis was subjected to rape and harassment several times while he was still a child, and this little boy had no ability to defend himself or repel the harassers, which later created in him a strong desire for revenge, and unfortunately he took this desire out on other innocent children. Luis used to find in alcohol an opportunity to forget his miserable childhood until he grew up and worked in a warehouse in Colombia in the 1990s, but he failed after he was fired from work, so he went to work as a street vendor, where his work facilitated the process of catching children from the streets after he used to tempt them with candy. His crimes began in 1992, when he began hunting children and teenagers whom he met on the street. He would deceive them and lure them to isolated places after offering them some sweets or money. He would also offer them alcohol and beer in order to make them lose the ability to resist. Then he would rape them and torture them with all kinds of tortures that might be possible. It does not occur to a human being. Once he finishes unloading his sick animal lust, he kills his victim without the slightest mercy or hesitation, sometimes with a knife, sometimes with a firearm. The bodies of some of these poor child victims were found, their heads cut off and their bodies torn apart. Grafitto was arrested in 1999 and confessed to committing 140 murders, but later, after lengthy investigations, investigators found that the number of his victims may reach 192, all of whom were children between the ages of 8–16 years. When his confessions ended, Grafitto said, "Yes, I killed them all, but I ask for forgiveness." His Grafitto was serving his reduced sentence. Many Colombians gradually began to criticize the possibility of his early release, and some argued that he deserved either life imprisonment or the death penalty, neither of which applies in Colombia. His sentence was supposed to reach approximately 1853 years, meaning that he would spend the remainder of his life in prison. But Colombian law sets the maximum prison sentence at only 30 years, which is the sentence that Grafitto received, and his sentence was even reduced to 22 years due to his cooperation and good behavior. He is in prison, and accordingly he will be released to freedom in the year 2021. In an interview with a station that was broadcast in 2006, after he confessed to all his crimes, Grafitto said that he would devote his life from now on to defending the rights of children and victims of harassment and rape. Naturally, this aroused the anger of public opinion in Colombia, and they demanded that he be retried and that more years of punishment be added to his sentence so that he would never get out of prison, especially since they sensed deception and deception in his words through his conversations, which sowed fear and panic in the hearts of parents of their children, not in Colombia, not only those who followed his cause around the world. I hope that it will be an example to every person who breaks the law and thinks that he will get away with it, no matter how lucky you are. One day will come when you will be arrested and bring shame to your family and children, so think before you become reckless. I hope that this criminal does not find comfort either inside or outside prison.